believe we are at the hour, so let us begin. Sorry, it's telling me that we're technology is just really cool right up until it interrupts everything. Carol, we do first?
I would probably
Come out of the way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, maybe I can just introduce myself.
Yes, name and address first for the record.
Yeah, so my name is Lance Schuster. My address is 1025 East, 81st North. I live out in the Coleman area. Joel, you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Joel Tisdale, 8143 North, 15th East, just around the corner from Lance.
Yeah, we're neighbors. We wanted to come here today and visit with you during your road and bridge meeting because we've observed some pretty serious accidents on St. Leon at 65th North, 81st North, where we live, and then on 97th North. Joel lives right on the intersection of 81st and St. Leon. And these are intersections.
15th East.
Yeah, 15th East.
And 81st was?
Willow Creek Inn Road.
Which used to be gravel.
Maybe in the day.
Well, it was in the day.
Yeah. So I've lived out there, John, for about 20 years. So I've had some firsthand observations of some of the problems with those intersections. They have, these are two-way stops where you have to stop if you're coming from the east or the west. Just a couple of weeks ago, one of our neighbors, Dan and Janet Clark, were T-boned at the intersection of 81st when a driver failed to stop at the stop sign at that intersection. This last summer, there was a woman from Rexburg killed at the same intersection when a driver failed to stop at the stop sign. So there's been a number of serious accidents. The same is true on 65th. You'll remember a couple of years ago, there was a school bus that was hit, tipped over on its side. The driver that hit the school bus was killed. I practice law here in Idaho Falls. I've been practicing almost 30 years. In fact, I'm a classmate of Michelle's. So I still remember working on a case for Claire Whitmore. He lives, or he just passed away this past month, but he lived right at the intersection of 97th and St. Leon. And he was T-boned at that intersection. One of the first cases I worked on as a new associate was a case where Claire got struck at that intersection on 97th and St. Leon. And I still remember the pictures of Claire all beat up and bruised, and he was lucky to survive. So I'm here, I guess, to request that we do more to enhance the safety of these intersections. I'd like to see some flashing stop signs at these intersections on 65th, 81st, 97th of St. Leon. I know that there's issues with putting in four-way stops, but I think at a minimum, we could put in some flashing stop signs. I've looked online to see what the prices are. I think the prices are pretty reasonable for these solar-powered flashing stop signs.
How much have you seen the price for?
About $1,000 for a solar-powered flashing stop sign. And I've seen my neighbors maimed and killed at these intersections. I don't want my children to be maimed and killed. I don't want any other of my neighbors to be maimed or killed. My neighbor Dan Clark is still in the hospital from this accident that occurred 2 weeks ago. He had 2 broken legs, broken scapula, broken ribs. Emergency personnel, had to use jaws of life to extract him from his truck. So there's some really serious accidents, and I don't know that we can ever prevent, obviously, people who are driving intoxicated or things like that from blowing through stop signs. But I think we can do more to make these stop signs more visible to drivers. So that's what I would like to see, is some flashing stop signs at these intersections in particular. I think it would really do a lot to reduce the number of accidents. And Joel is a retired City of Idaho Falls police officer. So I'll let you speak to that intersection as well, Joel, where you live right there. And I know you've seen even more accidents than I have because you live right at that intersection.
Sure. I am Joel Tisdale, medically retired from Idaho Falls Police Department. I don't want anybody to think I'm financially responsible or made good decisions, but I have a lot of experience as a police officer. 19 years in patrol, one capacity or another. I was on the DUI and traffic specialty enforcement team for years and supervised that team. So traffic is a bit of an expertise from the enforcement side that I have. And on top of that, my family, we're acquaintances at least with the majority of households along 81st and 15th East from Highway 20 to County Line. We exchange Christmas gifts with most everybody up and down there. Because of my career and that having acquaintances, I'm familiar with most of the crashes that occur because people want to talk to me about all of them. And from my limited access to the information, they seem to be consistently involving intoxication, suspended licenses, and criminally distracted driving. Those things seem to go along with what in my experience is people who drive back roads instead of main thoroughfares on purpose to avoid contact with law enforcement. Those people, because they're trying to avoid, or the reasons they're trying to avoid the contact is they are doing things inherently irresponsible or distracted, not paying attention to what they ought to. And those people tend to pay attention to things that are really important, like stop signs, less than you and I would. We see a stop sign and think, well, that's obvious, I'll stop for that. The crashes that I've been at personally at our intersection of 81st and 15th East, I've been out there to help pull people out of cars and deal with the crashes themselves. I can't help but hear them. All of those crashes in the last couple of years have involved someone at full speed, the speed limit or more, going east or west on 81st and not slowing down in any observable manner for the stop signs and hitting someone who's just driving at traffic speeds north-south. The people blowing the stop signs say they never saw it. I was only looking at my phone for a second, or they're obviously intoxicated and not making responsible decisions. So the idea that having flashing stops, flashing signs or rumble strips, something that grabs the attention more, I think would be a big payoff at a lower expense than maybe some other solutions for these intersections, to grab the attention of the east-west traffic. If we put in a four-way stop, what I've observed happen for these kinds of situations is the people that are, let's say, currently north-south, and we keep the east-west people being irresponsible. You're driving north-south, you stop for the stop sign, see somebody coming, expect them to stop. And now instead of getting hit while you're driving at 50 miles an hour, which contributes almost nothing to the crash when you get T-boned, now you get hit when you're going 15 miles an hour. The crossing traffic is still going to not observe the stop sign, just like they currently fail to observe the stop sign. Reducing speeds on 15th East, probably the same result. Does nothing to change the fact that people east-west fail to observe the stop sign. So something that grabs the attention more than what is now seems like the most reasonable solution. I know that typically planning of stop signs has some input from fire departments. In my past, I helped plan some of these routes so that the fire engines don't have to stop every single mile and reduce their or increase their response times. I'm not asking for any more stop signs, just that the ones we have are made more obvious somehow. I don't know how much rumble strips are a no-no with our snow and plowing and things like that, but something like rumble strips as well seems like it would be effective some of the year. Just things to grab the attention. And it's really all I would ask for, is things of that nature. And I absolutely acknowledge that I do not know basically anything about the expertise and the real resources available for road and bridge planning. I absolutely accept that. If there's a smarter thing that's cheaper, please do that, whatever it might be. Just something to grab the attention more for the east-west traffic, all of those intersections.
Just to let everybody know, we did receive a request to review these intersections. That'll be done first week of March, I believe is our meeting date.
Yeah. So, and just to inform the new county commissioners, we have a traffic change request form on the website that people can fill out and submit to us. They submit information about what it is that they're requesting. And we as Bonneville County Road and Bridge staff have a traffic safety commission made up of individuals from the city of Idaho Falls, city of Hammond, sheriff's office, ITD, and we review requests. We go through, we look at accident reports that are on the 5-year rolling average from the state. We go through, we present this information to the traffic safety committee. We get their recommendations. We bring those recommendations back to the county commissioners and allow the county commissioners to weigh in on what it is that the traffic professionals have come up with. So that is the process for handling these. Typically is we get the request, we investigate, we present information to the committee. Those recommendations come to the county commissioners. And then based on what the county commissioners decide, we implement those ideas.
Lance is telling us this because I told you to get on this agenda when there's a better way of doing it, and I didn't know about it. So when I told
Yeah, I
you to
wasn't
get on
aware
the
of this.
agenda, it was after that I talked to Lance,
Yeah.
and I actually tried to find it, but couldn't find it on the website before this meeting. But yeah, because I knew that you guys would want to have some time to look at everything, look at the information you have.
And we do have a meeting like this, like David was saying, we do have a meeting with the traffic safety committee coming up. We have a few other other requests that we're going to be looking at as well.
Would it be helpful to you then if like Joel and I filled out another one of these forms?
I don't know that it would be helpful to fill out another one of the forms because we're talking about the same intersection.
Yeah.
And so I don't know that there's actually, I think your wife actually signed it.
And most of these are requesting 4-way stop, aren't they?
Well, I don't, you know,
When
depends on, sometimes they request 4-way stop, sometimes they don't. But that's what we look at as staff and with the other members of the traffic safety committee is, does it warrant a 4-way stop or does it not? There are certain criteria within a manual on uniform traffic control devices, MUTCD, that whether it would warrant going to a 4-way or just saying a 2-way. And so those are some of the things we look at.
So I ask this in absolute politeness and just looking to understand the input that is given by lay people here is really just to bring the attention to get you to look at the manual. Is that an accurate kind of idea?
That's accurate.
Okay.
Has this never been reviewed before? My first triple fatality was at 81st and 50. Really?
It's,
I think there has been.
Yeah, that was years ago.
other requests.
it's an intersection. I'll tell you the majority, every time my fences have been hit, and my fences are in complete disarray right now, it's been somebody coming or going to the potato plant in Manan on parole or probation, limited licensing, under the influence, having just thrown their tall boy out the window, late to work or headed home. It being a thoroughfare, and again, like I'm saying, in my experience in law enforcement, being a back road, it's not you could get to the potato plant faster from Idaho Falls going up Louisville, but the state police and the county patrol Louisville. So you drive the back road with your incorrect priorities in driving, and you get more crashes there.
So, but it's never been reviewed before.
It may have been, I don't know that information off the top of my head.
It doesn't help at that intersection that Kevin Grover, who lives on the southwest corner, has a whole bunch of vehicles and trailers stacked up against the fence. So if you're going north on St. Leon, it's blind looking to the left. You can't see what's coming at you on the left-hand side, what's coming from the west.
Yeah, Purdue's were southbound, just not even a half mile from up the road, and got hit by a guy going westbound. It's
And 97 the same way, except it's his shrubs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, 65th is another cars and trailers on
Right.
the
65th, there's a gentleman on the southwest corner that has some sort of car repair business, and he has a ton of vehicles parked. And again, you cannot see what's coming at you from the west. So even if you're driving defensively, which we all are, trying to anyway, you can't see what's coming.
Sounds like we have some enforcement, maybe some zoning and traffic enforcement issues.
So as far as the vehicles there, most of those are out of the site triangle. Because we have looked at that in the past as far as where that site triangle is at. We have in the past talked to the individual about having vehicles outside of the site triangle. So when they're outside of the site triangle, then there's not much we can do for enforcement to push them further away from the site triangle.
On
Sounds like
97th, do Samson's shrubs, lilacs and stuff need to be trimmed back
I mean, it'd be
to the
wonderful.
right side of the canal bank
Plans,
again,
right?
or the ditch bank?
The thing is that by statute or ordinance, whichever is more restrictive, the site triangle, the distance back from the roadway is not that much. And I'm not saying that you should change laws or rules. It is, when it's the letter of the law, it's not that much of a distance. And those lilacs and things, yeah, they could, should, would, please, but legally, I'm sure Lance is correct.
We're tied
Yeah.
to what we can do. And hopefully you know what the site triangle is, but it's, if you measure from the intersection of where the roads come together, it's only 30 feet back and the triangle between those two. So it's not that big a distance.
Yeah. We had a bunch of those south of town too that were.
The Sampsons have both passed away now.
Yeah, I understand. One of
Tyler
Bob's
Seeley
kids
bought that place. You know, Stuart Seeley out of Golden West, his son Tyler bought that place. And
it was deeded to Arthur in the will,
I understood that Tyler bought it
but
and is working on it. And I think he'd be open to trimming those.
yeah, we'd be open to having him move all of that old farm equipment from the museum building over to the fairground, where it could be seen.
Yeah. Yeah. I've been through it before.
Waiting for Arthur to come back from Las Vegas to, that we talked about that. I didn't know the property had sold.
Just have some sense, but yeah.
Oh, was it? She was wonderful.
Barbara,
Yeah.
my second mom.
Yeah, she was great. Where did you grow up, John, out there?
That was the first house west of Sampson's, Radford's then. Now there's two in the field that we used to run horses in, and then ours in the Miskins Rockland.
Right.
So we were farmhouse next to Miskins Rock House and Apple Orchard at the time.
Right.
Now it's
Archie's or
Archie's Terry.
Yeah.
Terry Barchi.
Archie's on that brick or that rock house.
Yeah, so we were just east of them.
Right.
Barbara's first husband was my great uncle.
Vermont,
Yeah, Mont Barbara.
Yeah.
That's very
attack
nice.
mouth spud cellar that was. First day of spud harvest.
So when's that meeting, Lance?
March 6th, I believe, is when we're gonna have the meeting with the traffic safety committee.
And I think you said who the traffic safety committee was, but would you tell me again?
So we have a representative from the city of Ammon, usually is Tracy Bono, who's the
Uh-huh.
city engineer. We have Chris Canfield from the city of Idaho Falls. We usually have Lieutenant Glenn from the sheriff's office,
Uh-huh,
and we have Brian Young from ITD,
okay, so,
and then
so you
David
get
and I.
law enforcement there, that's good.
Yes,
Sorry, you said from IFPD?
ITD.
Oh, okay.
Speed, I know, has been a factor on St. Leon before too, and I know the sheriff's office has done some enforcement out there, but
It's hard, it's so hard in a big marked Tahoe, you know, and it's wide open. When you're north-south, you can see them forever away.
Maybe that's all you
but that's
know
not
is to see them,
here.
Yeah.
send them out there, a shift change.
We have a lot of roads.
Yeah.
And I know I grew up driving that one before I could legally drive.
Might be admitting to things.
Hey, statute of limitations is out on
Long
that.
since passed.
That's-
And that was when you only had to be 14 to legally drive.
Yeah, I was 12. But
So, unrelated, but sort of related, so I bought Harvey Meyer's farm. You know Harvey Meyer. So I farm that ground. And I'm on the board of directors for Progressive Irrigation District. And I mention that because I know tomorrow you're meeting with the treasurer, Craig Tibbetts. Progressive Irrigation has requested that Bonneville County send out the assessments for Progressive Irrigation. In other words, that we be able to include our assessments
heard rumor about this.
on the county's regular tax statements. So I just bring it up because I've talked to Craig a couple of times, and I think he's going to be talking to you about that tomorrow.
Craig, not Dustin.
Greg,
Craig
tax
Tibbetts.
notice, the treasurer.
Yeah. There's a statute that allows for an irrigation district with county commissioner's approval to have their taxes included on the county tax statement, just like a cemetery district is on there or school districts. And we would come back and talk to you some more about it, but I just was going to give you a heads up that Progressive Irrigation has made that request. Talk to Craig Tibbetts about it.
What did Craig say?
I think, well, what Craig said is that they're just trying to figure out what it means, what it looks like for them to collect Progressive's assessments. We have about 750 patrons. We have one lady in our office, Ann Cook, who not only takes care of all the assessments, but takes care of all the water orders, runs the whole office. So it's a lot of work for her to try and get these assessments out for Progressive.
And it's not a winning argument for you.
Well, she's a one-man show is what a one-woman show, excuse me. So it would be helpful if we could piggyback on the county notices that are already going out. So Craig will be talking to you about that tomorrow.
Yeah, are you coming? Somebody from Progressive coming to discuss that, or is this just a meeting with Craig to discuss it?
I wasn't planning on coming unless you want me here.
You should come every day this week.
I know.
Matt.
I have.
Yeah, come on. Get to know our schedule. Well, I'm sure
If you think it'd be helpful, I
Please come up.
certainly could come.
it might be better if we discuss it with Craig and then legal and then answer your questions.
Yes. I think it'd be good if you guys discuss it, talk to legal about it. I shared the statute with Craig. The statute talks about if there's expenses involved in sort of the transition, Progressive Irrigation would be responsible for those. I don't think it would be that much extra work for the county because we would simply provide the role to the county and the amount of the assessment. And it's just a matter of adding that to the tax statement.
And then the next 6 irrigation districts. With your,
Yeah,
Well,
there's that.
there's not 6. There are 2 other irrigation districts in Bonneville County. There's
Just
Idaho
2?
Irrigation and New Sweden.
is that all?
Yes.
It seems like there's a
No.
lot more than
There's
that.
more than
Oh,
that.
there's more
In
than
Bonneville
We
County,
have cross-county issues.
Farmer's Friend, Harrison.
those aren't irrigation districts. Those are canal
Now
companies.
companies.
And an irrigation district is a governmental entity. So we're a taxing entity. Our assessments that we send out have the exact same due dates as the county's due dates for taxes. Just like the county, you can pay your irrigation district assessment in 2 halves. So we have the exact same dates as the county.
Roger Christensen that sits on my left shoulder would say, when we add things to the tax notice that we send out, it's seen by the public as the county raising the tax. Because we're the ones sending the letter and the total tax due is on that letter where it wasn't before. That's just what that guy would say if he were sitting
Yeah.
here. When he's not now, but that is the perception that the county's the hungry monster at the door.
Well, most people that have a mortgage,
Educating folks that way.
yeah, most people have mortgages on their places and their mortgage companies pay their taxes. And,
Yeah, certainly some. My tax notice always came from the irrigation district. of the county. That's when I became aware that there were irrigation districts that taxed residential areas.
Yeah.
Can't have access to the water. It's the law. But we'll see what. It's his game, so we'll see what
Yeah.
he wants to do. Is the treasurer's. Has to start with him, so.
yeah, we want to make sure it works for everybody too, so.
Saves you some postage if it goes out. Notice it's already going out.
So we don't need them to do a second request for your safety.
I don't believe so. We're already going to be looking at it.
Even though what they're requesting sounds like it's a little bit different than a 4-way stop.
I was just looking through and not speaking ill of anybody, but this is a knee jerk, slow everything down, make everything stop happening kind of a request. And that's not what we're asking. Which is understandable because like I was on this crash that spurred this one and Dan Clark was burning alive. We were desperately trying to put the fire out for minutes because we're out there a little ways. It took a minute for people to get there. And so people were shocked plenty. And it's a couple and a lot of people know them and they're in the hospital for a long time. As opposed to the last lady that died, but nobody really knew her because she's from Rexburg. So it's a knee jerk, understandable reaction, but it doesn't seem like maybe the smartest or most effective. Like you're saying, cross traffic's already blowing the stop sign. More stop signs just means blowing more stop signs.
Is that taken into account when you guys have your?
Yeah, they look
Yeah,
at different
so-
options.
Thanks
And
for bringing
that's
it to our
just-
attention.
Yeah,
That's
well,
just
thank you for listening to
first
us.
step in the process.
Yeah,
Appreciate you coming in.
And then, is there a way, how do we find out what the result of the discussion at the traffic safety committee is? Do you
We
know
bring
that?
those recommendations to the county commission. In a normal county commissioner meeting Wednesdays at 10 a.m. And it'll be on the agenda.
So the commission makes the ultimate decision off your
Yes.
expert recommendation.
Yes.
So watch for that to pop up on the agenda.
Typically the one following the safety committee.
Not always. because sometimes there's need for additional study or warrants to be done. Warrant studies to be done sometimes can take a while, especially in the winter time.
Personally, I like flashy stop ahead signs and flashy stop signs. I think they make more visual difference.
So can they be notified when we are gonna hear it?
I would suggest you watch.
This morning, I was wishing the one on 45th and
Watch the
49th North
agenda.
was a flashing
It'll
stop
be
sign
noticed on
with
there.
a flashing stop ahead sign.
Yeah, that
It's
fall.
up to us.
That fog.
It's up to us to keep aware of this.
And I wasn't going faster than I should. But that. I stopped with time, but
Yeah.
dang, it was
Fog is bad.
Fog's
shock
fun.
and fog right there.
All right, well, thank you.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
thanks.
Thanks for coming in.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
All right, see you later.
See ya.
We need to look into who bought that property. And get the Fair board aware of
Yeah, they've sold
that.
it.
Samson's had a building rebuilt.
It's a
To
museum.
the edge of the field. The Walt had collected some old farm stuff. Bob Barker really collected old farm equipment. Walk behind plows, single seat rakes,
And they're at 97.
and it's on the corner of 97th. And I was thinking about that last week, that'd be so cool at the entrance to the fairground.
Right.
You know, and have that stuff where it's seen through.
Outside of the right of way.
Restoration
Yes.
project. To, restore it and paint it like it was when the
Yeah.
camp was built. A whole bunch of ag project in that barn, and it's cool stuff. They used to take school tours.
I did my fourth grade Idaho history project in Mont's garage.
There you
He
go.
jigsawed, we pasted a map of Idaho down on wood and he jigsawed around it and I paper mache mountains and such.
They had a true farm electric fence, which was a signal stat out of a Model T. And 100-watt light bulb.
It's the current part. Huh?
Yep. Then they took the 100-watt out and put a 25-watt in because they killed a cow. The signal stat burned out. It's just a hot wire.
I was taught to look for those at a very early age.
Yeah, you learned about electric fences the hard way. Okay,
The findings of fact and conclusions of law, there were no objections or anything, we just need to sign those.
Right. Well, you need to
I didn't know
kind of
if you
go through and
sorry.
discuss it.
read through them, had any
Oh, okay.
comments, changes?
to me, do you have any questions?
I don't know enough to have
No.
any questions.
You want to add?
No, if you thought they were okay.
Do you need a motion to sign in by the commissioners then?
Do we need a motion, Ashley?
I think usually it is an action item. Usually with findings of facts, you need a motion to accept.
Motion
That's
to
what I-
approve.
Motion to approve and
I'll
sign.
make a motion to accept the findings of fact and conclusions of law in rate petition for vacation, portions of Lodestone Drive, portions of Celinda Street, along with a public utility easement adjoining said portions of streets, all platted as part of Ammon Lincoln Division 1 and 2. Subdivisions recorded as instruments 1759639 and 1775462 of the official records of Bonneville County, Idaho.
I'll second that.
Well said. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
was nice to have the police officer here because everybody thinks more signs means a better outcome and I mean, not necessarily with traffic, but my experience is more signs just means less attention given to any of them.
Well, if you listen to specifically what he said, half of his argument was about east-west traffic. Half about it was about drunk drivers speeding north-south.
Yeah.
So the east-west traffic's not stopping, but the fatal accidents are from the drunk drivers
Going north and
that
south.
don't have a
anymore.
stop sign.
Yeah.
But if somebody hadn't run the stop sign, they would have been dead, which does bear. So. Truth.
But he understood that more signs doesn't always.
No,
mean
no,
more.
and he did.
The
No, I
Rumrell
thought he
strips
explained
were-
that really well.
What's that?
the
He explained that really well.
Yeah,
What the problem was.
and there used to be gravel west of Signage.
I go on the major
Out there.
thoroughfares and avoid the country roads for that reason.
When I had that crash,
because
it was
they're-
east.
I mean,
the
they
east
are
section,
dangerous,
one of the
and-
20.
And I know for the same reasons that Lance was talking about, when you go practice law and see where the accidents are,
So
it's like,
I didn't
you
ever
get
go east,
a little leery of this.
ever.
So Micah has a few other things
Oh,
that he can
sorry.
talk about.
Oh, I
and
thought he
have-
was just bringing this
right.
gratuitous.
It's still hanging out.
Well, welcome again, and thanks for the water bottle and the.
Are you back? Sorry, Michelle.
bag.
We just need to hang out more.
You usually hang out more with Austin. I'm always there, so he goes to more of the meetings and I stay in. That's how it is. No worries.
Just a couple of updates for the commission. So our 17th Street project, that one is on track right now.
Good.
It's so far on schedule. We're planning on reopening that bridge mid-June. We're not publishing that date,
Good, yeah, I think I understand why.
Managing expectations again, Lance.
but we are telling people, you know, that's what the contract says, mid-June. But so far, so good, you know, knock on wood. The biggest complaint we're getting is from businesses within those closed ends of 17th Street. It's to be, you know, be expected. But Geraldine's called me yesterday and said that they've had a 40% reduction in sales just in the last couple of weeks. So
Do they deliver? I'll call them and order something.
they do deliver, yeah. And so we're
I
trying to,
just drive any other way because I have to have my orange roll fix.
but you know, Michelle, to your point, we are trying to move traffic there as well, you know, to keep those businesses, you know, give them a little bit of love. So,
I think that's increased the illegal traffic on Eagle again.
it has to some extent,
People are going
Yeah.
northbound where it's been blocked off.
yes.
I went through there the other day and trying to come southbound, I had 2 cars coming at me.
Oh, isn't that horrible?
Yeah,
Isn't that just annoying to have
One
that?
ways are just,
so we need to have the
Yeah.
sheriff's out there writing tickets again.
Yeah, we've written about 120 tickets right there.
wow,
That's a lot.
Yeah,
yes, it is.
And you know, those are not cheap. Those are $150
Yeah.
tickets or something like that. I can't remember. But the tickets are primarily going to people that are cutting through the neighborhood,
Yeah.
using it as their own expressway. There are a few for folks that are in the neighborhood too. So they're a bit of a scofflaw situation there as well, but it's a problem.
Yeah.
And we had our traffic commission meeting last week, and on our traffic commission, we have, similar to you guys, we have a city engineer, I sit on it, our city planner, the sergeant from the Ammon divisions on it, and our code enforcement officer. And so this is one of the conversations we had about that, and we decided that we probably shouldn't make any major changes right now when the bridge is under construction, because traffic in that whole area is just,
Yeah,
it's
a
in
cluster.
flux.
and that's a city project on the 21st and 25th.
I know, that's the other one I
That's
wanted
it.
to update you on.
Sorry.
Yeah, that one, that's a City of Idaho Falls project.
Okay.
And so what's going on there at 25th and 25th? We call that the target intersection. That's just a girder that's failed. And Lance, do you know about that one?
I don't know.
That's just one failed girder. That's it. So they don't have to remove the entire bridge. That's why they had those cones placed in kind of a weird way for a while. For a few weeks, I was getting people calling me saying, this is too small for a bike lane.
It's not a bike lane.
It's not a bike lane. I don't know how someone could think that, because you'd have to go through traffic to get in this little teeny oval box. But that's what it was. They were trying to keep people off that girder while they were scheduling it for replacement. So,
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was, that was a nightmare.
Yep.
Well, and my trip through was in the blizzard.
yeah,
So it was night, blizzard, and cones that didn't make sense with straight lines, and I just thought, honestly, I thought somebody had knocked a few and pushed them from where they were supposed to be, and
That could
haven't been back
I'm
since
sure
then,
that happened
so,
too.
yeah.
But I think they've got both lanes, north and south open right now.
Yeah,
We do
they
still
are.
have some.
Yeah.
I just try to avoid it. That's,
Yeah.
you live in that area, so that
Do
is
you
a
really?
normal intersection for us all the time, but.
So what I tell people that call about Hammond projects, I say, look, these are once in a generation projects, and we are the lucky ones that get to be living through.
We're
it.
the generation.
We are it. So the other project I want to update you on was the First Street. Well, I guess you, Tracy, spoke today about that. So let us help out if you need us to help out with that last piece with the mortgage company.
If you can wake them up, would be
Yeah.
nice. They're
Do you
not
know which
responding.
mortgage company that is?
I do not know. I've let the title company deal with them directly, just because if I get involved in it, it sort of looks biased and
Strong
stuff.
arm.
So I've tried not to do that, but I'll call the title company again and ask them to follow up again. I know Pioneer Title has, she calls quite often, and
Which one do you deal with there?
Pioneer Title, Bert Stafford,
Burton Stafford.
Bert
Stafford.
is her name,
Bert,
but she goes by Bert.
That's confusing.
Yeah.
That's confusing.
We are closing our our original urban renewal district this year. And so Ammon has two urban renewal districts. The first one was opened up in 1994. It's a 30-year district. And so last year was the last date that it could collect tax increment revenues. And so this year we're going through the closeout process. What that means for the county is that about $30 million of assessed value will be added to the tax rolls after that closure. And essentially what that will do is it will drop everybody's tax levy proportionally by $30 million. So just a little bit. Everybody's taxes will be lowered throughout the county because of that urban renewal project closure.
But we'll get more taxes.
You will get more taxes if you levy more taxes. You will not
I
get
thought
more.
the whole point of the urban renewal district was to increase the value of the
Increases the value.
property, so we have more property to tax.
And that is exactly what's happened.
But
Yep.
it increases the value. Changes our budget.
Yeah.
So
You will
we
be able
have
to
to-
levy more because you'll have $30 million more of assessed value that will go onto your tax rolls. That project is the Albertsons project there. And so for those of you who've been here for a while, you might remember, I wasn't here, but there was a trailer park there.
Yep.
And there was like an old grocery store. And so what the city of Ammon did was set up an urban renewal district
Stokes.
to move, the Stokes,
Yeah.
to move the canal east. And by moving the canal east, it opened up that entire area for development. It was a big risk the city took. And it resulted in the services being brought to that area, and it spurred growth up and down Hit Road outside of the urban renewal district. And so it worked extremely well. It's one of the best examples of urban renewal in this side of the state. And while we have the district in that little teeny oval shaped area, it has Target on the south and the Chase Bank on the north. The result of that urban renewal risk that the county and the city took resulted in thousands and thousands of jobs created and hundreds of millions of dollars of assessed value up and down Hit Road. It was really truly like the seed that was thrown in the field that grew into a meadow. And so it's a great example. And as you see urban renewal districts open and close throughout the county, I would encourage you to think about that. You know, does this have the potential, like the Ammon Hit Road district, to really be a lot more than just what's inside that district? So we're pretty proud of it. Our second district is focused more on First Street and on the John Adams and Curlew, building that area up. And we're in the process of meeting with developers right now to try to get something to work there. But we built the road over the canal there, John Adams Car Wash, and the Curlew connection in the field there. And then all of the First Street project will be within the urban renewal district as well.
Curlew will open up all the way to 17th eventually, right?
Yeah, and the reason it's not, is it's a developer project. So this is one of those annoying things where, you know, you assign a developer to do a project and their timeline's different than ours. But it should be opened up sometime in the spring, hopefully by, I would say, 4th of July. So.
Nice.
Yeah. And the only other thing for me, the council wants to have a joint meeting with the county.
That'd be nice.
We do hold 1 or 2 of those a year. It'd be nice to have. And the only message they had for the new commissioners is please, please, please keep development in the cities. Please do
I
that.
think we're,
You know, it's funny, in our country, the only political subdivision that has movable boundaries are cities. And that's important. County boundaries never move, state boundaries never move. The city boundaries are expandable because they are responsible for growth. And, you know, growth in a county, you get the same tax revenue, whether it's in a city or a county. So we would love to have all the growth.
we would, I mean, speaking for myself, I would too. It just doesn't seem to be that easy somehow. I can think of a couple of places that ought to be in cities and aren't.
Oh, we'd love it.
Agreed.
And we really would. You know, we do love the growth. You know, we love planning the parks. We love planning the infrastructure. That's what we do best. We'd love to have it all. Any questions for me? Anything we can do better?
What's your phone number, Mike?
Let me give you my cell number. It's 208-360-1280.
Well, I'm the liaison with the city manager, so. At least aware of some of the meetings and stuff that you guys are doing.
It'd be great to have you. What's your number?
208-317-8527.
I'll send you a text.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
Giving you some information about solid waste. And if you'll go to page 5, kind of
Is it
give
just
you,
dollar signs on each page, Lance?
on page 5, there's some big dollar signs, yes. And before we get too far into the weeds, I'd like to set up a time with each of you, maybe
Let
individually,
Michael
to
look at
take
this
a
and feel
tour.
really good that they
Yeah,
don't
I'd
have.
like to see it.
Oh, every time I come to this meeting, I go back and tell the mayor and council, I'm so glad we don't run a landfill.
Yes, you are. So I would like to arrange some time for each individually to come to the transfer station and have later take you kind of on a tour to explain why some of these numbers are the way they are. If you look at the top of page 5, there's a C 1472 required upgrades. The upgrades of $1,083,453 plus the three numbers below it are a portion of what needs to happen to what we consider our new basement compactor to keep it operational and working. Below that, there's some other options for what's called C0567. And the first two numbers of that add up to 2.2 million. That would be to retrofit what we consider the old basement compactor and to get a new one that would continue to work. So between the two of those, it's $3.4 million in the existing transfer station that we're looking at in order to keep that existing transfer station operational for close to 20 years. The old compactor downstairs was installed in 1993. The new compactor was installed in 2004. And so both of them, the old one still works, but it's not used a whole lot unless the new one is not utilized. So again, take a look at your calendars. Please let me know of some times when you might be available to go and talk with Blair over there. They are gonna most likely have to shut down the
Right, so
operation
what
for a
time
little
of
bit
day
while
is
you're
it best?
there. Afternoons is usually fairly good, and I would stay away from
So
Mondays.
Saturday mornings are out.
Well, if you choose to do it Saturday morning, that's up to you, but I would not. I would look at maybe a Thursday afternoon and see whether or not that could work with your schedules. I would suggest you come individually. That way you don't have to notice it as a public meeting.
We don't have to notice it. It's a public meeting unless we talk
If all-
collectively about something.
Well, that's why you would have to notice it as a public meeting, because if you're all three discussing stuff, then nobody knows that you're not just discussing. So,
Especially if we're asking about costs and what this is and what that is.
So then, our INL tour, we need to notice it's a public meeting because we're all going.
most likely,
Our-
yes.
Visit to the Rotary Club, we have to notice because.
If
we're
all
going
three of
through
you are
to be
there.
Oh,
I mean, there has to be
I don't-
legitimacy in how the laws apply.
There, if we're not
Now that
talking
we have
about,
a lawyer in the group.
if we're not talking about something that we're going to make a decision about. I mean, like Road Reach Day, we're going to listen Mike Simpson. And we can avoid all three of us talking to him about any one issue. And same thing with INL. I mean, I don't
It's a
know.
field trip. We're all on
Yeah,
the same
I'm
bus, but
watching.
we're
I don't-
getting- We're there being told information.
We
We're
don't
not
have
there-
anything nuclear related on our agenda or even on the timeline. It's just showing us around. So I don't think either one of those need meetings. And everybody else is gonna be there. I mean, there's gonna be other elected officials there now.
If you're all three invited to an event like Rotary, you don't need to notice that.
Sorry, that was me just
Yeah.
arguing that this
Yeah.
could be handled in a way that it doesn't have to be published as a meeting because we're not going.
I mean, I agree with
Discuss it,
Lance.
we'll
We
go for a
want to
field trip
avoid the appearance
to
that
see
we're
something.
making decisions or talking about
In
things
the
that we
interest
might
of
be
not
making
shutting them
decisions
down 3
about.
times.
And I don't think you're wrong that with this, when we've got this on the table, we probably don't all three want to be, it's like Michelle coming to us after a planning and zoning meeting. These visits are us going to them instead of them going to us. It would be hard to avoid maybe talking about some of this at the visits. Although I feel bad about you guys having to shut it down 3 times. That's what I'm thinking about.
Well, and the reason I say shut down is because we don't have to shut down, but you can't hear yourself think
Right.
if it's not shut down. And so if you want to go and watch it actually work, that might be beneficial as well. It's just, you end up yelling at each other down the stairs to hear yourself.
You know, that's something that my mayor and council might be interested in too. If you want to have more of a party, you could just do it all at once, have a bigger group.
I
They've
just
never
want them
done
all
that. I
to
don't
see
think they've ever
this
seen that.
right here.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I just want all the cities to see this right there, because
Well, and-
we're the ones bearing the brunt of this.
Well, and this is just to keep the existing. When we start
Right.
talking about building a new transfer station to handle the increased throughput that we need, to build a new transfer station is over $10 million probably, and it's probably closer to 12.
Sorry, I'm gonna go back to what I was saying. I'm not sure how going there to do an inspection is any different than the three of us going to the jail to do our quarterly inspection.
If you don't
Three
talk
of us
about
are all there at
cost
the
and stuff
jail.
like that,
We're actually asking questions and talking about future needs and development stuff. We're not making decisions. We're not discussing things towards a decision. And we're required by law to do that. So I just don't know why this would
Yeah.
need to be treated differently and upset.
if you don't think it
the
needs to be,
mechanism.
that's fine with
Guess we
me.
can ask Lance or Weston.
If you don't think it needs to be, that's
Yeah.
fine with me.
I'm still trying to sort out open meetings.
Yeah. We'll get it on the schedule. Ashley will tell us what we can and can't do.
Okay. Outside of that, I don't think we have anything else, do we?
Michael, when you said that we've had these joint city council and county commission meetings before, what's usually on the agenda that makes us like part of the meeting instead of just observers?
It's always a topic or two that has interest for both boards. What comes to mind is we had our area of impact discussions before, we got real serious about some of the language. So that was one of the topics we had. We've also talked about our law enforcement contract at past meetings. It's whatever is on our minds at that time. And so, but it truly is a collaborative process. We've usually done a lunch meeting.
Yeah. And
one of the boards we have switched off, the county will host lunch and then we'll host lunch, et cetera. But I think it's Anna's turn. Yeah.
I'm just thinking about it in terms of other cities in the county. Sounds like a good idea.
It
Just
has
wonder how it
always,
worked.
it's always
Just
been good
happened
to
with
break
others.
bread together.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
I don't think we did it last year. I think we missed it.
Do it then, or did that meetings.
Updated that, and then
Yeah.
because of the new
Yeah.
law, we need to ratify or make some additional changes, and I believe Austin was already
He's already
already had one meeting, if not more,
No,
about doing
I
that.
love
know we
lunch
have not
meetings that have
scheduled it.
lunch.
It could be a real trial when you've got full calendars in the morning, a lunch meeting with no lunch, and then a full calendar in the afternoon.
But, but
You can hold
we
it
don't-
at Geraldine's because nobody else is there.
That's right. Really give us half an hour.
Bring
I
a
actually
little
have been there a
business.
number of times and haven't noticed the line any shorter. Stop in.
I just remember
trust
that
it.
17th past hit used to be a cow path. Practically. Just didn't go beyond it.
Just rode out there and like, everyone else bought their
Yeah.
place and the field had just been
Separation from City of Hammond and City of
pushed
Little.
in.
What's that?
There was separation between the City of Hammond.
Right,
and City of
right.
Little.
Yeah,
That's been gone a long time.
yeah, the Hammond City Center was just on Sunnyside.
Okay, thanks, everybody.
Thanks.
Good to have you.